gentlemen, hello and welcome to STM product review video. We've got a new product and we really hope you guys enjoy it. So first, a little bit of a background. As a family man, once a week, I usually have to go grocery shopping. And making a list over the week before you go grocery shopping really helps. So whenever I would go to the grocery store, I would see this monstrosity in people's hands. A piece of paper ripped from I'm pretty sure, a very nice notebook and being used as a grocery list. Now, there are grocery lists pads that you can buy for yourself, and that is precisely what I would do. Just created a list. But this is the kind of thing I would use. A list where you write things down and at the end of the week you take it with yourself to the grocery store. Now, one of the things I did like about apps is that in the app, as you add one of the items into your cart, you could just strike it out. Whereas in a piece of paper, you do need to bring with yourself a pen and strike them out as you go along. Now, problem with that is you have to bring the pen, you might lose it in the shopping bags or left in the car, and I know, like me, pens hold a sentimental value in our hearts. So yeah, I needed to find out how can I strike things out without the need for a pen. So whilst visiting a friend of mine, this idea came into our mind. What I would then do is I would buy a pad, and this is what I would do. This is kind of genius idea or really silly, depends on how much in love with paper you are. But this is what I would do. I would start to make small notches or tabs every 5 or 7 millimeters from each other. And I know right now you're thinking this guy is a total psychopath, and I wouldn't blame you if you thought that. But yeah, this is what I did. So I'm pretty sure you're bored by seeing my really poor cutting skills here, but I'm going to fast forward this a little bit just so that it is not as boring for you. And there we have it. This is what I would do. I would create sort of these horizontal notches over the entire pad. And then when I would go to the grocery store, I could just, when I've put the milk in my cart, I would just fold the tab. That's it. Either genius, like I said, or pretty stupid. I don't know. Then when I would add something else, fold its tab. I would just go along this way. Right now the cuts are not that neat, so that's why the tabs are folding slightly unneatly. But I would go along, and let's say I've added almost all the items into my cart. What it would help me do is I would know, okay, that tab is sticking out means I still got to put tomatoes into the cart, and that would mean I wouldn't miss any items, or I didn't have to keep on going over and over the list, make sure I've not forgotten anything. And I really love this idea. I personally used this for like 2 years. I did this for 2 years, and then I was thinking, okay, wait a second, we've got factories that we can work with. Why don't I ask one of them? Son. Anyways, so the factory that we work with couldn't make this for us, so I had to go out on this factory hunt, try to find a factory that could make something like this for us. And finally, a factory did make a prototype. Now this is one of the pads that I've kind of used. This is one of many, as you can see. That's why it's quite slim, but it has those notches that I talked about, and we also have like a vertical dotted line, so they fold to a certain extent and fold nice and neatly. And I use this, and honestly I can tell you it makes shopping so much quicker, so much easier, and dare I say it, a little bit of fun as well. So I was personally using this, and then after a year when I really enjoyed it, I thought, okay, maybe it's time to make a production ready product for our fans. So that's what we did. Now first obviously was this kind of pad. One thing we definitely needed was a pen to go with this, because my wife would always come to my office and grab one of these or one of my other pens, and for her, pens are just pens, and like I said, so I thought we need a dedicated pen that sticks with the pad, so your better half can just use that pen. That's her pen to use for making the list. So we definitely needed something next to it, which is this little thing came along. So we first had that, then we had this, then I kind of prototyped a back with 2 magnets. Usually the pads that you buy in stores would have only 1 magnet, and that makes this kind of curve up over time. I don't know why, it's because of the pressing or whatever. So I put in 2 magnet strips. One other thing that I learned was, after some time, Again, maybe this is because of a lot of use of, when you're scribbling, or because when you're pulling out these sheets of paper, glue wouldn't just do it. After some time, the pad usually detaches, and this is what I've seen in the market pads as well. If they're glued, after some time, the pad actually gets separated from the back. So we needed some sort of, not an adhesive, but like a mechanical means of connecting these two together. So yeah, that was kind of the third version. So you finally have got a pad that is ready for the market. So it is an evolution over 2-3 years. So some of the things I would like to highlight about this one is, first of all, the style is quite minimalist, which means that it can suit any sort of kitchen design you have. If it's ultra modern, Instagrammy sort of kitchen, or very traditional sort of kitchen. Again, it has got two magnets at the top and bottom. Instead of glue, we have used a mechanical clip, because you can't go wrong with that. We have also got a pen that is perfect for this sort of use. Why I didn't put in the fine liner, because the problem with the fine liner, well, there's no problem with fine liner, you guys love it, but the thing with fine liner is that it needs a cap, and the last thing I want is for this cap to fall and go under your refrigerator or something, and without the cap, obviously fine liners dry out. So we needed a ballpoint, and the good thing is you can leave it completely open, it doesn't need a cap, and they work fine. I had to go through a few pens to make sure it has got ink that flows even when you're writing the list vertically, because you're holding the pen horizontally, because this thing is going to be stuck on a refrigerator. So this one's perfect. It writes really nice and smoothly. So the use is quite simple. Throughout the week, you list down all the things that you need. You rip the sheet out when you're about to go to shopping. You can leave the pen in the kitchen, it doesn't get lost, and then as you put items, you can just easily bend the tabs. Usually we make products that are to do with mental health. After having used it for a few years now, 2-3 years now, and having given it to 2 of my friends to test out, there are 3 big benefits I see. The first benefit is it saves you money. So let's take the example of the US, or a family of, let's say, 4 members. Shopping would be approximately, let's say, $80 per week. Whilst you're shopping, if you just get the items on the list and are not impulse buying, because of that, you stop yourself from even getting a bag of chips or something. Let's say just $1 worth of an item you don't put into your cart because of the list. Because there are 52 sheets here for 52 weeks of the year. For 52 weeks, if you save that $1, you're actually saving $52 per year, or throughout the life of this one pad. Price of the pad is almost half of this. So not only does this pad pay for itself, but it also puts money in your pocket. The second benefit is that it saves you time. So all of us shop in certain manner. We either follow the layout of the shop, or we have a certain aisle that we go to first for some reason. So for example, I go to the dairy section first. So when I know of any depleting items, I start putting it in the very top, because I know that's the section I'll be going to first. And then if some household item, I'll put it at the bottom, then produce in the middle, things like that, based on kind of the manner that you follow in a shop. And if you kind of start writing things down like that, what happens is, when you're in that section, let's say the dairy section, I've put like the milk, yogurt, cheese, everything there. What happens is that when you're in that aisle, you get all the stuff from there, and then just you to move forward. And because of that, you don't have to go back and forth between aisles. And that saves you a lot of time, because before this, I would like meander between aisles because I forgot something to, I forgot to grab something from the aisle I just visited. It would cost me a lot of time. You might not get it in the first week or 2, but after 3 or 4 weeks, you know exactly how to lay items into the list. So it definitely saves you time. And then thirdly, saves you help. But if you are at home and making lists, what happens is, because you're not tempted by things in the aisles, you're more likely to put in healthy items rather than junk food. And at the store, if you've got a list of healthy items, you're more likely to follow that and not, grab stuff here and there which might not be good for your health. Now, if you pick up a cheesecake or Haagen-Dazs or a Ben & Jerry's tub, I don't blame you, because those things are delicious. But again, it depends on how good your self-discipline is, but if you stick to the list, you're less likely to put junk food into your list. Now, I would like to stress here is that the factory that created this for us made only 1,000 units, and they couldn't make more because these little notches are very difficult to manufacture for some reason. Big cutters can cut like huge stacks of paper, but when they're trying to create these small notches a few millimeters from away from each other, they can only put into the machine very few sheets, and the economies of scale don't work, and they're quite not happy about making more of these. So we've just made 1,000 of these. If it's a success, maybe we can make like 5,000-10,000 next time. But for now, we've got 1,000 units. Well, scratch that. I've kept 3 for myself. So we've got 997 of these right now, of which 500 probably go to the US, 250 to the UK, and 250 to the EU. I'm sorry, people in Canada and Australia. It's too far. I'm just kidding. It's just transit fees right now are through the roof. Anyways, so if you like this concept, if you want to try this concept, I can say with confidence, definitely go for it. Like I said, it will easily pay for itself, let alone these other benefits to it. So there might be links under the video for the product. So grab yourself an STM pad and let us know how you felt using it. Honestly, bending these are so much fun. It's like therapy. This is bent so nicely, so neatly, so effortlessly, and I know what's already in the cart. Honey, I've got only 2 items left. Done with shopping.